failing Kyle Busch. As we've talked about, he has the flu, he has strep throat. Right now, he is getting ready. He's talking to his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, strapping in. He will start to get his name on the board to get the points, but Denny Hamlin is waiting on standby. They can make a quick change if they have to, and we will stay on top of this story.
We talked about the fact Denny Hamlin is standing by. He's already got the earplugs in. He is ready to go if needed. Of course, all eyes on Kyle Busch and whether or not the flu is going to knock him out of this car. But my question for you guys, you just did happy hour. How did he look there?
Well, his car didn't look that great in happy hour. It wasn't terrible. He ran as many laps as they needed to, it looked like. I think as far as his performance behind the wheel, I think was fine. I didn't see any issues there.
Yeah, this is going to be a decision he's going to have to make early on. There's no sense in running half of this race because you're doing most of the damage if you do that. He has to look at the whole weekend. This is 800 miles of very difficult racing in the afternoon. These race cars are hot inside, very easy to get dehydrated and make it to where he couldn't make the 500 miles tomorrow.
Denny Hamlin is, as you mentioned, Marty, already got the earplugs in. Here's the plan that at the first pit stop, whether that's lap 2 or lap 40, is that Denny Hamlin would get in the car for Kyle Busch. Now, that's the plan at this point. Now, if Kyle should get in the car and start feeling as though he can go further, then they would keep him in possibly. But at this point, the plan is for Denny Hamlin to take over for Kyle Busch at the first pit stop. The biggest discussion has been the transition of the drivers, getting the helmet hooked up, getting the belts hooked up properly, the crew members who are going over the wall and what their responsibilities are going to be. So expect the 18 of Kyle Busch to make a driver change at the first stop. I'm told that Kyle started feeling worse as the cup practice went on, and out of a 10 he's about a 5, but the main concern is the hotter he gets, the worse he feels. The sun's out, it's hot down here, and you can imagine what it might feel like inside that race car.
On the racetrack. At this racetrack, there is Denny Hamlin. Let's get the update on what's going to happen first pit stop. Vince?
Well, at that first pit stop, we're expecting Kyle Busch to get out of the race car because he is not feeling well. Denny Hamlin, you see on the right side of the screen, already got the helmet on. He's got the earplugs in. He's listening to the communication between Kyle and the team, so he has a clear understanding of what the race car is doing, what kind of car he's going to get when he does get into that machine. Kyle Busch said it started off loose, came to him, was pretty good in the middle of the run, starting to free up a little bit now. But, guys, as you expected, and Marty, as you indicated, the car is always fast here in California. Now let's go to Tim Brewer, the Craftsman Tech Garage. And Tim, give us a brief rundown of what's going to take place when they make this driver switch.
First of all, when you come down pit road, Kyle, he's going to drop this window net immediately. Next thing he's going to do is break the belts loose. He's going to hold the steering wheel with his leg, but he's going to place the belts over to the side, making sure that when they make the driver exchange, he's going to be in a situation where his radio is already disconnected, and all he's got to do is basically get out. And when Denny gets back in, all he's got to do is bring the shoulder straps back down in place. One guy's going to reach in, hook him back up, hook the radio wire up, put the steering wheel back on, and he's getting out of Dodge.
Tim, next time put the microphone on your shirt when you threw the belt off. We lost you there for a second. Great stuff. Kyle, right now, he's got a 2.6 second lead. Mike's the end.
Yellow's out, debris behind you in 4.
Boy, I tell you what, this is a big break for Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin is ready, and they will get to do this under yellow.
Yeah, this would be a big break for Justin Allgaier, too.
Yes, sir.
Get in here and
We're
get that
doing
car fixed.
Yeah, he is 18th right now. Stephen Wallace is 9th. That's the 18 radio we're listening to.
Hit before it opens. If we're coming, we got to come right now.
Well, you heard him
We
say.
don't come twice. We can restart, with the lead lap cars.
Now, they were debating whether to pit before the pit road opens because they need a little extra time here, and they would have to start at the very end of the field if they do that. And what they're saying is, hey, if we can get this driver change done, we won't have to start behind the lap cars. We'll be at the back of the lead lap cars, but not behind the whole field.
Let's do the drivers first, okay? Just drivers. You go ahead and do your fuel, guys, okay? That way we give Denny extra time to get buckled in and everything. Once he's comfortable, we'll go back out and come back and get our tires.
Now the caution, just in case I did not get that out when it first came out, is for debris up in turn number 4, as that happened here. right before we would have had to do this on green flag stops, and then that would have forced Kyle to stay in the car a lot longer than he probably wants to. Hamlin set. You heard what the pattern will be. Get the drivers taken care of first, then the fuel while they're doing that, and then we'll worry about tires.
Yeah, and they can make this change pretty easy. Both of these guys are relatively the same height and weight, so that's a good thing. They won't really have to do anything seat-wise. This is really good of Denny Hamlin to take it upon himself to do this for his teammate who's battling for a championship. Just shows how bad Kyle Busch must feel right now.
Yeah, and it's not a bad deal for Denny Hamlin, man. He's watched his car lead the whole race. Gonna get a chance to drive it now.
Tim Brewer is right. Window net's already down. Guarantee you the belts are coming off next.
And NASCAR probably didn't like the idea that happened that quickly, but he's just getting everything ready.
There's Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Biffle peels off Edwards, but we're going to stay right here because this obviously very important.
Make sure it's shut off. Make sure it's shut off, okay?
Vince?
Well, you heard Jason Ratcliffe in the communication with his team members, just complimenting Kyle Busch on not being able to see anybody get out of the car that quick, so Kyle did that very effortlessly. Now Denny Hamlin is in. As noted, there's not any changes inside the car that are necessary, not a change of the steering wheel or the belts. Everything will remain the same with Denny Hamlin. Kyle Busch has got the helmet off, and they have made the decision that they will change the tires on the second stop. Now they're going to go around. Initially, they had decided they were going to change the tires on a second stop, but Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief, said if everything worked smoothly with getting Denny in the car, we'd go ahead and change the tires on this initial stop. So that's an indication that things have gone fairly smoothly in the transition between the two drivers, and the 4-tire change is now being made. So Kyle Busch is out of the car after this first fuel stint. Denny Hamlin is in. He's buckled in. The NASCAR officials are there investigating just to make sure that everything is being done as you would anticipate from a safety perspective. The pace car is in turn 3, so the team is trying to finish up here with this stop, and of course safety is what matters most, but they want to also make sure, if at all possible, to get out before that pace car comes back around. So far it's been a very smooth transition.
Plenty of time.
The net is up. You heard Jason Ratcliffe there telling the team that there's plenty of time to get the change made, get the net up. The pace car hasn't come through 4 yet. The officials are looking, and Denny Hamlin goes away. I would say that was a very, very smooth transition from driver to driver, guy. Well done for the 18 crew. Kyle, what's the symptom that's maybe giving you the most problems at this point?
Just temperature. When I get in the car and I get hot, I start not being able to see exactly straight. So car was really good, though. The Z-Line Toyota was awesome. Unfortunately, I just didn't feel it's to my best interest and to the team's best interest to win this race, to keep going. I probably could have, but more laps and getting hotter in the seat probably would have diminished my performance a little.
What's your plan now, and how concerned are you about going 500 miles tomorrow?
Well, that's another problem, is wanting to get out today in order to be able to compete the full 500 miles tomorrow. Fortunately, we got Denny Hamlin, who's a great relief driver that can drive for me, and I can try to go back now, rest up, cool down, try to get this fever under control, and be ready for tomorrow.
Have you discussed an alternative plan tomorrow if you have to get out of the race car?
Not yet. I think I can do it.